Alrighty, here's the video review for Transformers Prime Voyager class THUNDERTRON. This is one that I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about, and then I got him, and he's actually quite awesome. Now, granted, I have a thing for Beast TFs. I've been a big fan of Beast Wars, so there's no issue there for me. Like I like him. He vaguely is reminiscent of Beast Machine's Snarl. In his alt mode, he's kind of got like a Liger Zoid type of look to him. He could be a little bit more posable in Lion mode. And his Lion mode is a little awkward with these giant kind of wings and the way his legs are, like his weak torso, abdomen area. But it looks kind of cool. He's got a rubbery tail, which is neat. And again, the wings. He doesn't have an opening jaw, which I really would have liked to have seen an opening jaw in the lion mouth. But what a neat lion head. And what's really neat here is he doesn't have as much posability in the front legs as you would hope. Mostly just right here at the knee, and a little bit in the paw. And he does have a ball jointed paw if you want to put it out. But up here, there's not as much movement because you can see, like, here's the actual leg piece, and the upper leg is actually his forearm in robot mode. And the way that it transforms is really, really cool. I like that. Unfortunately, it just limits some of his movement in the front legs in lion mode. But he's a Star Seeker. You can see he's got a not Autobot or Decepticon symbol. It's kind of a weird piratey mix of the two. Apparently I haven't read the expanded novels. Apparently he's in them. The bio on the box says that he's out to get revenge on the people who destroyed his planet, which is apparently the Transformers. But he's a pirate. He's cool. Again, you can see between him and Magnus, this wave of Transformers Prime Voyagers was basically get rid of all the blue plastic we have got. We got a surplus. Time to clean it out. But yeah. So, he also has a Mech-Tech Weapon here that you can plug in up top. It's like a little claw. Now, I have disabled this. The Mech-Tech Weapon, you can plug that in right up there. It does flip out into a sword. And you can see I've got it to lock out. Because, it does have a little wobble just due to the gearing mechanism. You can lock it out like this. You can see the light comes on. And again, if you want to lock it out with the light off, just pull a battery out. You just unscrew this screw right here. But the friction from the button will hold it open that activates the light. So you can actually have this plugged into his arm as a sword if you want, instead of this weird, whatchamacallit thingamajigger that, again, can plug into his arm. It's supposed to be like a claw weapon here. But then has this giant sword attached to it. There's some neat stuff here on both ends. I like the design of the sword, and when you plug it into the side like this, it's okay. But I don't know. It's the same Mech-Tech crap that, not Mech-Tech. What is that? What I'm looking for? Whatever they're calling this stuff, Powerizer gimmick that I just don't care for. The LED doesn't really light up the sword. It lights up right around the LED, and that's it. The sword doesn't catch any of the light. But anyway, all I did here is, and you can even see it, is basically, it sticks out right here. I just unscrewed this, and this piece right here originally was flipped up around and hooked in right up here. And that's all I did, was I just unscrewed this, I unhooked that spring, and then just let it sit through the gap. And now I can have the sword flipped out if I so choose. And it's nice, and you can see it's not, even when I hold it like this, even though the weight here you'd think would want to bring it down, it actually holds in place very well with just that. I didn't add any glue to it, I didn't thicken any joints. So that's a bonus to this design of Mech-Tech, or whatever they're calling it. Versus some of the earlier, like Prime's gun, you couldn't, even if you took the spring out, it was still a loose, floppy mess. But we'll get into that. But I mean, again, it's this stuff. I don't really care for this gimmick. I'm curious to see what kind of micron he comes with in Japan, if they release him over there. But it is what it is. And when it's in sword mode, it's actually not the most horrible of the weapons. They're getting a little better at making these something worth playing with. They're still not there yet, but they're trying. So let's give them some credit for that. So THUNDERTRON, on to the figure itself. Now, transform, you bring the legs down. You want to rotate them around up here at the thigh, and then rotate them around at the foot, and then bring these back pieces forward to form the foot. And in this case, you want to flip out this little heel claw. The legs look different, and we'll show you why in a minute. You come up here, take this whole assembly and just kind of pop it out. It's going to come down like that, hides the tail. Not only hide it, but it sinks it in. And then you just push the hip pieces in like that. And that's pretty much all. And then you can adjust these however you see fit. And that's the lower half of the robot. Now up here, like I said, you unpeg this from right here. There's a little tab right here. And then this whole piece rotates down. And now you can see the separation of the leg there. How this is a separate piece, and then this is the actual forearm of the robot. And again, unpeg it right there. There's a little tab right here that pegs in up there. Bring that down. And then you take these and you just split them out like this. Bring the forearms down and around. Actually want to flip this shoulder pad up a little bit and then flip this down and around. And then flip the fist out. Just like that. Again, lift the shoulder pad up, forearm down and around, flip the fist up. This piece right here pushes in, and then you're going to take the, go ahead and get this camera lifted up a little bit. This whole piece, you want to take this blue piece, flip it out like that. This whole assembly comes down and around to form the front of the robot. These pieces right here on the sides, the white pieces, slide lower around the mouth. You can kind of, there's the two of them on the side. You just kind of pull it out and rotate it down and around like that. These blue pieces you open up like this, and then you just pop his head all the way up, and then this forehead crest folds down along to give him like this cool little crest up here on his head. And then these pieces right here, you bring up, this tab right here is going to tab right into the back of the basically the shoulder blade there. And the same over here. And then you just bring these down, flip the paw like that, and then this whole piece rotates. You flip this little gold piece up, rotates down, and then the claws point up on his shoulders, so it kind of becomes other shoulder pads for him. And again, it rotates so you can get the claws sticking straight up. We'll do the same thing over here. And there he is in robot mode. Now, like I said, I liked him in beast mode. I really, really like this guy's robot mode. And I don't know what it is. He has kind of a vaguely Robo-Poseidon-y look to him. I like the colors. I like the teal up here and the beard. And here's a look at his face. Let me see if we can... You can see he's got the gold mustache with the beard. And actually his beard is actually really long. And unfortunately it blocks a little bit of his head movement because it sits behind the lion head. And unfortunately you can't, even if you pop it up, you can't get it to sit over. You can't pop it onto the ball joint and have the beard sit in front of the lion head. It's a little bit of a shame. It does limit some of his posability in his head area, but he is on a ball joint up here on his neck. So... But yeah, very cool. And also, like as we mentioned earlier, he is a pirate, and that's the reason his legs look different. Because if you notice down here, he's got a normal-looking leg and then one with some gold spiky bits. This foot can actually pop right off and give him a peg leg, which is kind of, adds some character. It's kind of cool. And then this weapon, this little weapon itself, there's a peg right here. You can flip this up, fold these up, and it can peg onto his arm. As kind of a bracer type thing. I like to fold these in a little bit to make it look like it has a little bit more of a connection with his arm. But it's up to you. But he can wear it as a weapon. If you don't want it there, you can store it on his back. He does have the peg hole here on his back from animal mode. You can just store it right there if you just want to have it set somewhere where you don't want to lose it. The Mech-Tech Weapon, like I said, it's supposed to, again, you can peg it on. If you imagine it without all of this gunk as a claw weapon, you can give it. So if you have the paw on one hand, you can hook this onto the other arm as, again, just because of the way this is designed, it sits way out, but you can see it as kind of a claw weapon on his arm. And again, you can flip it out as a sword, and I think that looks okay, just straight up as a sword on his arm. It's still, like I said, it's still Powerizer tech. And I don't really care for it, but it's not the worst of the Powerizer tech we've gotten. What does also look really, really good with him is the Dr. Wu, the Matrix sword. looks really great in his hand, and because his hands don't close all the way, he's got a little bit of leeway to hold it, and he just looks really awesome holding it. And what's cool about this is, Dr. Wu is making a more screen-accurate Starsaber, so if you want to give your characters a Starsaber, you can. And with this sword, I really like the idea of him having it, because I can totally see a pirate, pillaging the universe, finding a legendary artifact like the Matrix. And even though they couldn't use it the way it was intended, I could totally see them having it forged into a sword like this or something, just as like a status symbol, as like a symbol of power, as I have this powerful artifact. Can't use it, but here it is on display in my weapon, proving that I'm the leader, I'm the dominant one. I like that. I like that idea as a fiction. But he does look really, really good holding it. So there you go. Also, something Gogdog mentioned that got me thinking and confirming is that his legs, just due to the transformation, aside from the peg leg, are pretty much identical. So if you have a second one, and I do, you can easily, like right here at that joint at the waist, pop this leg, the peg leg off if you have a second one. If you so choose, if you don't like the peg leg, if you don't want to do it, you could take a regular second leg, which is just this leg from a second figure, snap it right on, and snap it right into place, and give him two regular legs, if it's an issue. And again, you could give the other one two peg legs. You wouldn't want to have him have two peg legs at the same time, but since they both have a foot, you could then choose which one of his legs was a peg leg at any given moment. So, you don't, like I said, not something you have to do. Just if you have a problem with the peg leg, or you're afraid you're going to lose the foot, or whatever, for whatever reason, you can, in fact, swap the legs out for a... still transforms just fine. It does the same thing. It doesn't affect anything other than the fact that you can't give him a peg leg anymore. So, if you want to have pre-war wound THUNDERTRON, you can do that. Go ahead and swap him back to his peg leg, though, because he is a pirate. And pirates have peg legs. Every single one of them. Every pirate has a peg leg. You've never seen a pirate without a peg leg. Even Somalia pirates have peg legs. They just don't want you to know that. So, but yeah, there is THUNDERTRON. Here he is with his Wavemate Ultra Magnus. Again, a lot of blue going on there. Excuse me. And here he is with Prime. Again, you can definitely see the evolution of the line from first wave Voyager to current wave Voyager, just in the design. But like you see, just look at him. I mean, just something about him, even if you don't care for his alt mode, his robot mode is just outstanding. Just absolutely amazing. I really, really like him. I highly recommend picking him up. He's worth, if you have to pay a little bit extra to get him, totally worth it. I think he's a great figure. I think his proportions are great. While I don't like it on some of them, I love the use of the translucent plastic in his forearms here. I think his forearms look really cool. I just think he's a really neat, powerful-looking robot. And it's nice to see a faction that is not Autobot or Decepticon get some love. But yeah, definitely recommended this guy. So there it is, Transformers Prime Voyager THUNDERTRON.